Welcome back, everybody. This is the 2022 Genesis GV70 3.5 turbo all-wheel drive sport prestige. Wow, I feel like car names are so long these days, but this is the 2022 Motor Trend SUV of the year, and I think it is absolutely worth the reward. Award. This thing's awesome. I've loved my week with this thing. It's luxurious, it looks stylish, it's fun to drive, it handles well, it's sporty, it's economical, it's powerful, it's unique, it's just everything. It's awesome. It's $64,000, and I honestly think it's $64,000 really well spent. This reminds me a lot of the Porsche Macan, and to be honest, I think this might be even a little bit better than the Macan in some ways. And it's definitely hands down a better value. I think it's spacious, it holds the family, my kids have been in it. The seats are some of the best I've ever been in. It's just a great SUV. And if you're in the market for a luxury, powerful, sporty, unique SUV that's worth your money, this Genesis is definitely gonna leave you very happy. It's been awesome to spend my time with it. So I'm gonna show you some of the exterior features. I'm gonna show you the interior, which I love, and I'm gonna give you some driving impressions. And just to cut to the chase, there's not a whole lot of negative stuff to say here about the Genesis GV70. It's all positive, very few minor complaints. To be short of speaking, go out and drive one, go out and buy one. I don't think you're gonna be disappointed. So walking around the exterior, you can see that this is unlike anything else on the market today. You've got an awesome, bold, big grille, which, you know, is not totally unique. Lots of manufacturers have huge grilles these days, but you do have these awesome headlights, these twin blade headlights, which is a very unique feature. And I think they look really cool, especially in person. I do wish they were slightly brighter at night. They do a nice job, but they're not quite as bright as you might expect for something of this price tag. The red paint is a $500 charge, and I think it's absolutely worth it. It's incredible. I can see why Genesis used this as the press color. And these wheels are awesome. Some people I've showed them to have loved the wheels, if they're a little weave design in the 5-spoke. Others have thought, I don't know about that weave design, but I think they look really cool. And those are 21-inch wheels, part of one of the packages you get on the Genesis GV70. And as you come around, you can see it has a nice sloping roofline, again, reminiscent of the Porsche Macan. And you have these amazing twin blade taillights that really wrap the front and back together. You also have these awesome tailpipes. Now they are fake. You can see the actual exhaust in there. It's a lot smaller, just your standard exhaust, but they look cool for how big they are, right? Isn't that awesome, Finn? You've got your all-wheel drive 3.5 turbo. And again, just zooming out, it is a great design. It's so cool. I mean, if you're cross-shopping this, it's way more unique than something like an X3, an Audi Q5, an Audi Q3. It's just awesome. All right, so Finn is gonna open the door for us. Thank you, good sir. So already you can tell that this design is just awesome. You have this way cool carbon fiber pattern that's part of the, I'll show you the packages in just a moment, but you have this awesome, you've got this awesome airplane wing design. Throughout the cabin, you have this awesome curvature that goes from the door, that goes to the dash, all the way across. And you can also see the airplane design and inspiration throughout the cabin. This is a dark navy. It's not black. And you can have red leather as well. Red stitching, which is just so cool. And then you have these amazing seats with suede inserts, and they are so comfortable. These are some of the best seats I have ever sat in. And you can see that this center console is incredible. More carbon fiber, and then it dips down with the ambient lighting where there's cup holders and this awesome, if I close this, again, leather. Press that, and it is a deep, can you open that one more time, bud? It is a deep cubby with wireless charging and room for a wallet and your keys and most other things.
That's deeper than I anticipated.
It is deep. You also have this incredible, huge sunroof that extends all the way back over the passengers' heads. That is suede. And nice clean dash with a wide, I think it's about 14-inch wide screen. And then coming into the back with kids seats, you can tell that there is a lot of room, and the leather and the same design is extended in the rear with these awesome red seat belts. It reminds me of my old WRX STI. You have manual sunshades, rear heated seats, and just a great design. So coming in on the driver's side, again, you have these amazing, magnificent, lovely seats. Coming in, sitting down, you have an awesome 3D display, which I know is not being caught on the camera, but it looks fantastic in real life. And changing it into sport mode changes the look of the dials and the needles, and also tightens up your side bolsters to hold you in while you drive aggressively around corners. It's a pretty nice feature, and like the sport mode really does feel good in here. You've got a very beautiful long display, and you have here Hyundai and Kia's kind of standard buttons, which are very nice to have. You have also these buttons to adjust drive modes, the camera, your menu, back, volume, and tune. Very cool. You also have here, if you hit the home button, maybe, there you go. You're able to use the dial to go to all the main parts in the infotainment that you need. It's really easy to access, easy to use. I like it. This dial, by the way, is gorgeous. It kind of looks like crystal, and it's really nice to use. This even is a little bit of a touch-sensitive screen, where on the navigation and some other apps, you're able to use your finger as almost a little trackpad, which is a nice thing. I'd rather just kind of prefer to move the dial and to twist it around. You also have the gear selector, which is right below it. And if I had some complaints, this would be one of them. It looks cool and it feels nice, but it's right below this, which is about the same size, which can be a little distracting, a little confusing at times. And so it looks good, but I would prefer a different mode of selecting my gears. But you do have, again, that cubby, these cup holders, which are nicely sunken down, and again, that airplane wing inspiration throughout the cabin. This is a really nice cabin. It looks really good. The parking brake lever is kind of hidden, and some or many Genesis GV70 owners will probably even just forget that it's there. And anyway, just an incredible interior, really well thought out, very clean, looks awesome, and I cannot say enough nice things about these seats. They're just a wonderful place to spend time, and I wish I had more time with them. So accessing the rear cargo area on the Genesis GV70 is a little unusual. The button is not down where you might expect it. It's actually right here located on the rear wiper. Press that. It opens and you are greeted with a lot of cargo space. Now the roof line is sloping, so that does cut into your storage a little bit, but overall there's lots in here. It's a very, very nice, it's open, spacious place to put golf clubs, groceries, whatever. You also have underneath here, press this button, lift up on this lever, a little bit of extra storage down here for whatever. So overall, really impressive. You just press this button, it lowers automatically. And there you have it. So here is a look at the window sticker. As you can see, this one totals out to $64,000 with a base price of $52,000. $52,600 to be exact, and this has the Sport Advanced package for $5,000, the Mono Red paint for $500, and the Sport Prestige package for $4,900. And all of those goodies give you a lot of really cool things like a 3D digital cluster heads-up display, 21-inch wheels, the electronic limited slip diff, the suede seats, all of the cool stuff. And I gotta say, I think that it is worth it. If I were getting one of these, this is the way that I would have it. And anyway, here is the window sticker. And of course, Genesis amazing 5-year, 60,000 mile new warranty, 10-year, 100,000 mile powertrain. There's the estimated EPA fuel mileage, which that was about what I experienced, maybe slightly lower combined, but I did get up to 30 miles per gallon, strictly highway driving. It was a little downhill, but there you have it. And 64,000 feels maybe slightly steep, but this car reminds me the most of a Porsche Macan. And so when thinking, you know, compared to a Macan, this actually is a pretty phenomenal value, and really liked it. I've driven a lot of cars, and this one this week has been impressive. And this is something that I would consider buying. And it's just extremely well done. I don't know. I really don't have that many negatives against it. Like, let me just start with the driving experience first of all. This produces a lot of power, good amount of power. It's a lot of fun, goes fast, instant torque. I really wish they'd put this engine in the Telluride. That would make the Telluride just awesome. Like, that's the main thing with the Telluride, is it needs more power. But this engine's phenomenal. It's silky smooth, instant torque. It gets up and moves. Sport mode is even better. You put this thing in sport mode, it sharpens the suspension and the steering and throttle response, and it actually feels sporty. And you can chuck it around some corners. This handles really well. I really like it. The side bolsters in sport mode just kind of squeeze in automatically to hold you a little bit better, and it feels good. And speaking of these seats, these are hands down some of the best seats I have ever sat in, period. They're incredible. And besides like the Mercedes S-Class seats that I was in recently, I think that these are the best, and they're so comfortable. I love them. And they're totally customizable. There's a lot of like different air bladders and stuff in them that you can kind of inflate and extend. And if you're not comfortable in these seats, then you haven't messed around with it enough, because these are phenomenal. I really, really enjoyed these seats, and I don't know how much I can say about them. Just, they're so good. The design in here is beautiful. Like this, I had the Lexus RX 450h last week, which was $2,000 cheaper, but still basically the same price. And this feels like, in fit and finish, driving experience, everything, this feels like 10 times the car. Like, hands down, all day long, I would buy this any day over that. I'd buy it any day over most of the competition. In fact, probably all of them. Like, the design is thoughtful. Like, you can tell they really cared about it. I think this is way better than the BMW X3 that I had, and I liked the X3 a lot. But this thing is cool. Like, it's just, I don't know, like, it feels so solid. Like, this big, nice, wide screen. I love the airplane wing design and the carbon fiber and the suede. And I love how it's blue in here. I like the buttons. I think it's easy to use. It just is cool. And I really like it. I mean, if I was spending 64 grand on like a little crossover SUV that I wanted to be sporty and handle well, this would probably be at the top of the list. I mean, a Porsche Macan would always be cool. I mean, I'm never going to turn down a Porsche, but if you could save like a ton of money and get similar performance and pretty great styling, it's hard to say no to, especially with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Like, it's crazy, right? And so, yeah, I think it's cool. Like, this is a cool car. Like, this was the 2022 Motor Trend SUV of the year, and I think it absolutely deserves the award. For the price, for the value, the performance, the handling, the styling, the comfort, the space, the ergonomics, everything about it's great. I mean, if I have complaints, they're very minor. The driver's, or the door armrest is kind of thin, okay? So it's, again, it's a minor complaint. I wish it was just a little cushier. I have pointy elbows. I wish it was a little cushier. It gets good, not amazing mileage, but again, you have a twin turbo V6 that's producing almost 400 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque. And so I've been averaging about, 19, 20 miles to the gallon, a little less if I'm in sport mode, really hammering it. Last night I drove home from Park City, which, it's a lot downhill, but I averaged over 30 miles to the gallon, which I thought was pretty great. So, I mean, it's not mind-blowing, but it's pretty good. Other minor complaints. My one main complaint is I'm not really a fan of the gear selector dial. I think it looks nice. It almost looks crystally in its appearance, and but the problem is it's directly below another dial which will change the radio, and you can go through the mode there. You can also touch the screen. It's just the screen is a little far away, and I like the dial and how it works. It works fine. But it's directly the dial for the infotainment and the dial for the gear selector are about the same size, and they're one above the other. And so there's been a couple times when I've gone down to like reach for the radio and I've gone to the gear selector. I almost wonder if they should have switched positions, because the gear selector position I feel like is a more natural, like intuitive place for your hand to go for like using the dial for the infotainment. But that's a minor complaint. I mean, that's not even that big a deal. Like, you drive this thing for a week, you're gonna get used to it. It's gonna be fine. So it's not that big a deal. I would not let that stop you from buying this car, or at least seriously considering this car. The parking brake, I wish they would have just put it here by the dial. The parking brake lever is over here on the left-hand side, kind of almost tucked behind the steering wheel. And if I had to guess, most Genesis GV70 owners are probably going to be forgetting to set their parking brake, which is too bad, for the transmission. But because you can't really see it from the driver's seat, you kind of forget it's there. But again, if you get used to it and you train yourself on where it is and you get in that habit, you'll get used to it. But it doesn't feel like the most natural place for a parking brake switch to be. I wish it was just closer to the dial or somewhere, right? But the design in here is so cool. I love how the cup holders are kind of sunken down. I love like this cubby that you can slide your phone down in, wireless charges it, and you can fit some other things in there too. It's pretty deep, and it's also like the door even has some leatherette on it, and it's nice. It's like Genesis has really thought things through here, and I think they are to be commended. It's just a shame we don't see more of them on the road. Like, you know, the cars are hard to find right now. And, but with Genesis, it seems like they've got, you know, a fair amount on the lot, because people haven't really caught on yet. And I think they are making a very strong case for themselves. And will buyers catch on? I don't know. I hope so. I think they're truly competitive. I think this is an amazing car. I think it's worth the 64 grand. I think it's a real value, to be honest with you. I think you're going to have fun. I think it handles well. I think it's sporty. It's pretty efficient. There's space for 4 adults very comfortably. There's tons of cargo space. The design is cool. It's very unique. It's like nothing else on the road right now. I can't recommend it enough. Like, this has been one of my very favorite cars that I've driven in the past year. And, I mean, besides like the S-Class Mercedes, which was just otherworldly, this is pretty darn great. And I think you should go check it out. I really do. Go to the Genesis dealership, say, I want to drive one of these. I want the Sport Prestige. I want these options. Because I do think you want those 2 options. I think that even though it's like adds $10,000 to the price, I think that they're worth it. And even at 64 grand, it still feels like a value. So, anyway, one other thing, sorry, it's just this massive sunroof is so cool, and it's deeply tinted, and so you can have it open all the time. This is the first time I think I've closed it just to kind of like keep some of the sun out of my eyes as I'm talking to the camera, but it's deeply tinted. You could have it open. It goes all the way back over like all the, you know, the passengers in the rear seat and stuff, and it's so cool. And yeah, I mean, I can't recommend this thing enough. So if you're in the market at all for like a sporty, luxurious, you know, crossover that's going to carry the family or a couple kids or a couple adults comfortably, you can commute in it, get good gas mileage. It's all-wheel drive. You can be safe. Put some snow tires on. It's going to be amazing. Like, this is just, it's great. Absolutely. SUV of the year. Yep, I agree. Totally. It deserves it. So go out and buy one. Let us know if you did in the comments. Let us know why you did in the comments. Let's help each other out. Please, guys, thank you for watching and liking and subscribing. It's awesome. It's fun to see this grow. It's fun to make these videos, and you know, those comments, subscribing, and liking and everything like that helps me kind of know, you know, what's working and what's not. So that's cool. Anyway, thanks so much, guys. Have a great day. Enjoy the drive. We'll see you.